me yet, so I'll just okay. Go.
Oh!
What? I'm sorry. What just happened to you? Did you blow out your hip? What just? Are you okay? You're fine. You're fine. You'll be okay. Okay, just do one more time. One more time. I'm sorry.
Living in America. There's nothing wrong. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm out on love. Out on love. Alone from night to night, you find me.
Concerned about that?
No, Dankeschön. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
And what are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some?
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
What you're going to be
Hello,
doing
Ted.
on this tour?
Jam.
Source, there you are.
And we'll be doing a lot of good things, and hopefully we'll get Brother Ted Turner on the cover. Ted, where you at? Hasta luego.
You know, might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
Do you have a tail, or is that your hair in the back?
あ、ほら髪の毛と下に尻尾があります。
Hair and a tail. Wow. The best of both worlds.
Thank you! 私の髪の毛と尻尾はとっても自慢の髪の毛と尻尾なんです。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, it really such a unique little character. It's mesmerizing. So anyway, I forgot the question.
Because you frickin' fricks just can't ever be quenched. Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they? You frickin' fricks! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? You guys keep on asking for Sonic Adventure 3, and you're ruining the Sonic series. Hasn't it already suffered enough? 新しい出てきた。
この惑星の
滲んだ星を数えて思い出す
夏の日
一人ぼっちの夜
幸せ
Welcome to the Bomb Bad Cast.
What's up, everybody? What is up, world? It's another Bomb Bad Thursday, and you can probably hear my co-host snickering in the background because Scotty's back, y'all. Scotty's back, and I just want to go ahead and real quick, Scotty, if we can get, we got a big reveal here tonight. We got a identity reveal. The frickin' Fricks kid, that was Eli 2 months ago. Fun fact, that was Eli.
That was him.
Eli is the frickin' Fricks kid.
Can't say I remember no Eli. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't remember no assin, right? Is that the name of the planet? Is that the name of the planet?
It's Eat Assin.
Okay, I get you. At ass play, right?
At ass play.
This is the whole bit. This is what you come here for, everyone.
This is the intro.
It's here. It's there. Yeah.
This is exciting. Hey, bad news. Bad news.
Oh no! What was wrong? What happened?
Will our boy return? We're searching for him.
We
Don't know.
found him. Boy, we really
quick.
went all in. We bought so many things that have
found him.
Fuzzball on them. We look at this. We got Scotty's got Fuzzball merchandise.
I got a Captain
really
EO
were
poster
like,
right here. Hold on.
we were like, oh, surely he's not going to be, like in the first episode. And he wasn't in the first episode. They were in the second episode. That was on the first night. Well, you got another one?
This is the celebration poster. No, I've got a Captain EO poster. I bought one
Right.
just to be excited, you know.
Okay. I hear you. Okay, Scotty is coming back.
Hold on.
Reagan's in the chat. Welcome after who are you? Are you? I know you, right? I think I know you.
Afterthought.
Afterthought. I can't say I remember no afterthought.
You know who's not an afterthought? Get her on. I'll find this Captain EO poster in hell.
Oh, yeah. Find the Captain EO poster. Hold on, real quick. Well, let's find a clip to bring our wonderful guest on. Guys, we have a first-time guest today, and it is just such an honor, such a wonderful Bombad privilege to have Crystal Kyber on the show tonight. So let's go ahead, bring her in.
Hey, mate, who invited you here?
Who invited you?
Crystal, welcome to the show.
Crystal?
Hey.
Crystal, we were recalling earlier exactly how our paths crossed in the most beautiful way, and we got to give a shout out to a special place. What's that special place?
Pink milk.
That special place we love so much, Crystal.
Pour one out for pink milk, always.
Pour one out. Yeah, drink some Maison Perrier for pink milk, everyone.
Hey, I got a Waterloo.
Sparkling water. Ooh. Shout out to Brian Barry.
Yeah. Crystal's water is so crystal clear, you can't even see it.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's see-through.
Tastes amazing.
I'm so glad you're here, Crystal. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to talk about the Skeleton Crew. I feel like the season so far has been so good. So
yes. Okay, so let's hear about your relationship with the show. Was this one of those ones that was like, okay, let's see how this goes, or were you like, oh man, I'm about this?
It was, let's see how this goes, because to be honest, like I haven't really been loving like a lot of what Star Wars has been putting out lately. So this is kind of like the end of my rope where I was like, if Skeleton Crew sucks, like I don't know if I'm going to keep watching the shows. Like I'm fine with the movies. I'm good with Rogue One, like, and maybe that's enough for me. But the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew, I was very, very pleased. Like I'm like, all right, I'm back in.
Oh, that's actually wonderful, because sometimes it's really interesting when it comes to these shows. Like the people I would expect to love it don't, and the people that I don't expect to love it do. I've always kind of like that. That's the
roll of the dice.
Sorry, that was on me.
There we go. We're in our circles now. Yeah,
I meant to do this. There we go. That's much better. That's great. Yeah. So when this show was announced, God, must have been at Celebration like 2022. I remember being excited for it, but I had no idea what to expect. And this show, in all honesty, with this most recent episode, truly exceeded my expectations. Like, honest to God, like this was a heavy one in every which way. And I don't know, it's the perfect middle of the season episode, honestly. Like the kids finally like each other. You know what I mean? I think it's really important to think about.
They're really starting to mesh. You
Yes.
can really see them starting to mesh and stuff. And by the way, these kids are fucking fantastic.
They're tremendous.
Like they're like so good at what they're doing.
They feel so real.
Yes.
Like 110%.
Truly. And then, like, I hate to say it, this is nothing against. I thought Little Leia and Kenobi was amazing. I thought the Anastasia twins were okay. They were definitely twin sisters. Like that vibe was 100% there. Like sisters at each other's throat kind of thing. But I mean, Star Wars doesn't have the best, not track record, but like having kid actors in it is like Warwick Davis was an example of his child, Star Wars kid actor. So was Jake Lloyd, which obviously that's a whole different ballpark of trauma and things that went down after. But like this show, I mean, it's just so perfectly written. I mean, I really
Well, the kids usually feel like kids in like they don't feel like real kids. They feel like kids in a fantasy story, right? You know that they all do. They've done fantastic jobs, and any adult who disparages them is an awful piece of shit who should be shot into the surface of the sun. But these kids somehow balance like that action and intrigue and stuff while also still feeling like, and I think it's because of the planet that they're from is supposed to feel so much like our planet. It's supposed to feel like Earth and weird to this galaxy that they feel like real kids, like from Earth and stuff. Like I was, and not to jump too far ahead, but like and again, you don't have to be a parent to feel the emotions these kids are feeling. You just had to have been a kid before and stuff. But I'll say, as a dad, I was losing my fucking shit, bawling my eyes out whenever Wim goes to check on Fern, and she is just like that, trying to hold it together, crying that little kids do. Dude. And I'm tearing up just even talking about it right now. So they're doing so fucking good. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. I love it.
What I think is like really working in the show and with the kids specifically is we're getting to have like all these little interactions with them where it's like we learn more about their characters just from how they interact with each other or the adults or the pirates around them. And we're not really being told like, hey, Neil is like that nerdy kid that needs an inhaler. You know, we're not getting those words to us, but we can kind of like piece it together just from his interactions with Wim and Fern and KB. So I think that is like what makes it really special.
God, and it's such a perfect dynamic. Like it's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dynamic of like you expect one person to act one way and the other ones to respond a certain way, but it's not always what you expect. You know what I mean? Like Fern having that moment of vulnerability was very surprising. This close into it, I would have thought that would have been like a episode 6 or 7 thing where like the character finally is like, nah, I can't do this. I don't know why everyone looks up to me like I am the captain. I'm just making this up as I go. Like I was telling my wife, I was like, man, Fern is you to a T, because like she's always held down. She's always saying this line. I was just like, she just holds in the line, and then like there's moments of like super deep vulnerability where like, no, we don't know what's going on, and that's difficult to encounter, understand, you know, even on an adult level. But there's a couple of things too, and I know Crystal knows, and our audience knows, but I'm a teacher, and like there's a lot of moments in this where I'm like, oh my God, like seeing kids all day, every day, like there's so many things that are so naturally written. Like I saw people kind of saying like, why did she do that little flip off the thing? And like everyone's like kind of like thinking like that's a little too much.
If a kid can do a flip, they're gonna do a flip.
Oh yeah. If I could do a flip, I could do a flip.
I have
all the time.
I have students that literally be like, hi, Mr. Jaro, and then like do a cartwheel. I'm like, just isn't that awesome? You're just like, okay, because if I tried that, I would.
That's how I come into the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full on cartwheel.
That's how Crystal showed up into the backstage and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I'm very capable.
Yes,
that's right.
It's just the idea of like, I don't know, the idea of people watching and going like, I'm like, maybe you haven't been around kids like every single day, or you have a kid of your own, or like you remember being a kid. Like I remember being a kid and just like, you know, just doing stupid, like I'll just do a toe touch, just like well, I can touch my whole foot right now, you know what I mean? Like just I don't know. And
I watched TV curled up into a pretzel. Like that you like, I mean, like if I tried that today, I would not be able to walk for the rest of my life. You know, it's like insane.
There's
I
just
loved her little flip. Yeah,
me too.
It was so
cute.
real. She just kissed her little crush.
Yes,
wasn't that awesome? My boy Neil. Man, I love that they gave him this little interaction, because you don't expect that from him. Like you were saying earlier, Crystal, you expect it to go very stereotypical, and it is very much like breaking those social norms and everything like that, and just you know, really giving us something that felt really real and really special and so sweet. You know,
I definitely thought it was gonna be Wim to get like a kiss if there was gonna be one. So it was like really cute that it was our boy Neil.
But it was also nice that it wasn't like one of the core casts kissing the other ones on the cheek. You know what I mean? Like if KB kissed Neil, like then all of a sudden, like the idea of like they're on a ship together, like this is kind of weird now. And like it's not like school where you go home to your families, but like you know,
it's just that one girl at summer camp that you meet, right? You know, kind of thing is what Neil, right, kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, I just know these characters through my personal life and of course through the kids I teach, and it's just they're complex. I mean, all even KB has some pretty intense moments of complexity where like she sees the blaster bolt hit that statue and she doesn't respond to it because she's never been around that before. You know what I mean? And like she kind of like puts her visor on, like, what was that? But like that is like if you brought a kid, you know, into an area like that, you know, they wouldn't know that's a scary thing. Or they wouldn't know the sound of a gunshot. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds weird, but like I remember
they just like wouldn't necessarily know how to like process that.
Yes.
You know, like what do you do in that situation?
Yes.
You know?
Like I remember being at like a Mardi Gras parade, and like this is so dark, but like hearing like a gunshot really far away because you're in Louisiana and it's, you know, those things. I mean, it's just shit goes down other places. But like hearing it and thinking that was fireworks, my dad's like, no, we got to get in the truck right now because that is someone shooting a gun. So like that being said, like I wouldn't have thought about that at their age. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think of any noise like that or see anything like that and freak out. But man, I'm so glad we just dived into this. Usually there's like a little bit of it's kind of nice. Okay, so sorry. I
like when that thing blew up. That was nice. That was so cool. What a cool explosion.
No, I do want to focus a little bit more on Crystal because, you know, Crystal's first time here in this capacity at least. And yeah, no, I'm curious to know, you know, in terms of this show, I know you said you've liked it so far, but like, has it like exceeded expectations? Has like really like every episode you're like, okay, I'm ready to cuddle up on the couch and watch this?
Yeah, every episode has exceeded my expectations. I'm not gonna lie, like this episode for me actually was my least favorite.
Yeah.
But the more that I've talked about it and the more I've heard like other people's perspectives, the more I'm like understanding why it was so good. But me not liking this episode as much as the other episodes doesn't mean that it's like a bad episode. It just
exactly,
you know, like when they're all like so good, like there has to be
Yes.
one that's not going to be as good.
Right.
And I think with this one, I just felt like there was maybe some like pacing issues, or maybe they had like a place they needed to end up, and I felt like maybe we got there too quickly.
That's fair.
But overall, like I really liked it. I know this was like Neil's episode, like everyone's like Neil Nation, but I really think that like Fern was the standout character for me. I think that like from the moment that she met what is her name?
I have it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I have it in my notes.
This is what Crystal, you know this is you watch the show. We don't look stuff up. Oh, Hannah. Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Hannah, from like the moment that she met Hannah, I felt like we started to see like her mask slip because every chance she got, she like reasserted herself as the captain. She's the one in charge, like she's the bossy one, even to like pirates. She was like, I'm the captain. Like, you're gonna have to talk to me. Like, I got this. But from the moment that Hannah showed up and was like, hey, we need to hide, she had nothing to say.
That's a good point, because like then all of a sudden you can pass that leadership role to the next person and you don't have to be one that's so concerned with it. Because I mean, we see that in our jobs. Like I definitely see it in my job, or like if my principal comes in or whatever, like you kind of have to pass the leadership role instantly to them. That's the person of respect, where Hannah knows where she's at. She knows what she's doing. And so Fern truly puts all of her trust in this character, someone that they just met. And honestly, that's a kid thing to do. You know, they're at some unfamiliar place, and if like an older kid, cooler kid, or maybe more, you know, socially advanced or understanding of the area kid like comes in, it's a simple dynamic that everyone kind of follows into, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. I haven't May. Hello, stay bomb at May. So one thing too that I think is fantastic is we got a lot more Jod being a person. You know what I mean? Like not being like oh, I'm your guide and I'm going to help you and you need me, but I actually need you. He's more like, he kind of becomes daddy a little bit, you know? I think the Pink Milk crew would be thirsting hard for Jod at this point.
Right. It'd be the steam room.
Yeah, it'd be the steam room.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's definitely, yeah. But I mean, he's by the end, of course, it feels you start to feel that, like, it's like at the last episode where we first are like spending a lot of time with him, I was starting to be like, I don't know if he's going to be quite the best guy and stuff, because this seems very, you know, dangerous. And obviously the kids kind of get the upper hand on them because they've got SM-33.
They got what he needs.
But then, you know, you have this episode where by the end, he's kind of just like, oh, hey, you know, I'll take those 4. I'll take those guys right there, and stuff, which was very kind of sweet and stuff.
Yeah.
I also love him and I'm just gonna call him Smee. I love him and he and Smee's relationship right now.
Yes.
And everything, that it's like he's very much trying to manipulate the droid, but he can't. Like when,
Right.
when they leave him at the ramp and
Yes.
SM33 goes initiating babysitting protocol or something and stuff, and just starts calling him baby. That was, and I didn't get to finish the whole episode with my kiddo today, but when he starts going, baby, here, baby, come on, baby, get on the ship, don't make me count. She like started laughing. It's so good. That's so good.
It's perfect for kids. Like that whole play on words. That's something that's to be quoted in, schoolyards, right? And I had a couple students recently go, "Is Skeleton Crew worth it?" Because I think they watch shows like Andor and even Acolyte a little bit, and they might not feel as intrigued in that way. I've got kids that are like, I love the Bad Batch, but I don't really like the Acolyte, or I don't really like Kenobi. And I'm like, that's very interesting, because for us it's like holy grail, like, oh my god, Kenobi, like this is something we've waited our entire life for. But they it's not as drawing to them. But I had a kid come to me today, is like, he's like, I love the Bad Batch, do you think I would like this? I'm like, honestly, yes. I'm like, this is peak.
This feels very Clone Wars-esque too, and stuff, so
It does.
Yeah. I just think it's really cool that we've gotten a point now where Star Wars, where there's a lot of variety. Like, and someone made a good point in here. Eli, I think, said it, something about something along the line. This is Andor. Good Andor. Skeleton Crew episode this week, because it had the kind of dark nuance that Andor has, but it was told from the kid's perspective. And I don't know. I love Andor. It's just not the show I want to flip on. Now, this show, however, is the one I'm just like, put it on. Like, this is, and in any show, regardless of the context of the story, it could be Kenobi, it could be The Mandalorian, it could be Boba Fett, it could be Andor, but you can tell a good, complex, story like this behind any backdrop. But this one does it effectively because you're looking at kids. And, I don't know, Crystal, you grew up in America. We all grew up in America, right?
Yes.
So, like, none of us had the, I guess, unfortunate or terrible experience of going in a place that was written by war. Like, honestly, we've lived through wartime America, but we haven't lived through like war on our soil, and these kids haven't either. So, like, I think, in all honesty, this is a perspective of like, the whole idea of you may be going through these trials and tribulations as a teenager in America, but there is much horrible things going on other places. And even if it's your sister planet, at Atten, there was a bunch of really cool ones.
Akron was this one.
Yes, at Akron, at Atten. Let's see. I know I read it earlier.
I
was
them
looking
written down.
Go for it.
I have my notes right here. At A2, at Aricia, at Aravan, Akota, and at Atten.
So cool.
They're hard to like say one right after each other.
Right.
What do you think it means? Like, before we break this episode down, like beat by beat, like, what do you think those names mean? I love it.
I have no fucking clue, and I love that.
Yes.
Honestly, because I'm also like, okay, so these are special, but are they all like worlds with something hidden on them that also have a suburb of people living on them? Like, what's going on with that? That's what's interesting to me, is like, this is pretty much the exact same as at Atten, but like, it's been war torn for years. We don't know, a long time.
But like, even being able to look into this room and like seeing it for the first time, I don't know. To me, the pillars look very Jedi Temple to me, with those like kind of curved out things. And I don't think it's going to be a Jedi plot in that way. I really don't think so. But like, seeing this moment was so awesome. And then like I don't know, the sketchings on the floor. Does this lead to like Peridia kind of thing? It's got the same kind of like, galaxy carved stuff that they did in Ahsoka. But yeah, like them seeing that they're coordinates and that all these pillars have the planet names, and at Attu. I mean, this is pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, do you think like the A and AT stands for something?
I don't know. It's awesome.
Maybe. I mean, I like it, but it's because I didn't expect them all to be named at something.
Yeah.
I just was thinking like, oh, that's just typical Star Wars 2 syllables hyphen longer name kind of a thing,
this show is just shot incredibly well. Like this really is
Yeah.
probably the best looking Star Wars show. The pushes on the cameras, like the Daniels did an amazing, job with this episode too, by the way. I mean, the fact that they did everything everywhere all at once and then did this like I think immediately after before that movie blew up is just so, man, Star Wars got lucky with that one because there's some scenes that are very everything everywhere all at once. This one in particular, where they have that shot on SM-33's head, and it's like super
where he's like
weird
kind
and
of like
visceral.
shaking.
Yeah, right
yeah.
here.
Almost like steady cam on him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show looks remarkable. Like, look at
and
that.
the lighting is so good. Like the art department is here. We have costumes, we have makeup. Like I feel like we have all the things that we've been missing lately, and it
Yes.
feels so good. I mean, we can feel it,
Yes. But look at this. Look, this is a crazy Star Wars shot. This is the first we've ever seen anything like this. That like hangover shot, you know what I mean? they get up and
it is that hangover shot that I did for the first Hangover movie. Absolutely.
That's right. I remember that. I don't know. The way this is set up and like the fact that Neil has his huge moment in the end, where he was
they've
the
got
one
a
that
great
had
arc.
Row.
He and it was I'm sorry, what was the girl's name? Hannah. Okay. They have a great like arc in this and everything where she's like, again, from the war-torn planet. My favorite theme from this whole episode was with Neil and everything was, how Neil has been, by the way, great way to end it. I died laughing when he fainted. Poor guy, poor kid. And Reagan is correct. Reagan said earlier that Neil is very Jerry coded, and that is true. I am very Neil coded for sure. That was I said that I think a couple weeks ago that was the kind of kid that I was like back in the day. But like just like a little goody two shoes kind of guy. But like you have I love the whole like you get this society that they treat children just like adults. They're going to war just like the adults and everything like that, and it's just a constant battle and survival and thing like that, and just talking about weakness and everything in a way that's like a lot of people just in the world like talk about weakness like oh, every generation's weaker, so to speak, blah blah blah, but I loved just that whole arc of her realizing, oh, your weakness. I love that was the line is like your weakness, I realize it makes you kind, and my world can use some kindness. Was probably my favorite part of the entire episode, besides Wim and Fern, kind of like going at each other. But like just I loved that theme of you get this again, like you're saying, with this character who is as the nerd, it's the nerdy character, right? It's the character who's like, a little softer, like, kind of like probably a little more not as brave, which he shows very brave, just again like very very cautious, very aware of when he's afraid. He's not afraid to say I'm afraid, kind of thing, which takes a lot of courage in and of itself.
It definitely does.
I loved that whole just like theme and arc for Neil in this episode.
Yeah, and I think too, because like Neil was choosing not to fight in the past, it wasn't really like a choice he was making. It was just kind of like a convenience for him. And I think after he chooses to like throw the rock, or after he has this talk with Hannah, I think it really does become a choice for him, like to choose pacifism. Because I think before it was out of convenience, but now it's like his own personal stance. And I think they did that so well.
I agree. But the idea of what this planet went through is very interesting in the sense of, Neil's it's literally At-Atten, right? It is literally At-Atten. They think it's At-Atten. They land on a playground, for God's sakes. Like it's so like real to them, and they see it from the space. Like, oh, there's a suburb. There's the neighborhood, and they pull in. It's not, and it's this like weird Twilight Zone-esque place. And everything that's there on their planet is also there, but it's not the same condition. And it's just such a cool concept. And, it makes you think, are all these planets like that? Are all the Ats like that? eat acid. You know, all of them. Like they could all be there. No,
there's a whole other circle. There's a whole other circle of planets that is like eat something. So we won't go
Organa's from eat my ass and sorry. Okay, never mind. Too far. Kids might be watching.
Chat, clip that.
Clip that chat. Yeah, for real.
No,
chat.
I do think it's cool though with this naming nomenclature. They have locations to other planets, which we know are quote unquote destroyed based on what Kim said, but they're not destroyed. There's people still there. Destroyed to me implies like uninhabitable, like you can't even go there, but they go to this planet just fine, thinking it is their planet. So I really do think the rest of this show is this idea of like maybe they're going from every coordinate to every coordinate, right?
And maybe the planets aren't destroyed as well.
Yes,
you know, like maybe
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
and look, I
do. Go ahead.
What? No, you go.
I was gonna
Crystal.
say, didn't the general say that he doesn't deal with the other off-worlders unless it's for trading hides or food?
Yes.
So they obviously are in contact with the other planets.
Yeah, that means okay. That's a good point. So there must be people, and like Nathan brings up an excellent thing. There are 8 planets navigation ship: Mandalore, Corellia, Coruscant, Tatooine, Mustafar are the crown jewels. Like maybe they just go by different names, and they end up going to all these places and going, oh shit, this could be, you know, whatever. Like I think those coordinates. I think the whole point of that scene was they're gonna hop all these coordinates, go to every one of these spires if they can, and then figure out where the hell at actually is, right? And I think in theory it could be much further away than anyone else is expecting, but you know, I guess they accept the currency. We know that Jod takes some of Wim's money to get those EOPs. From what we see on screen, technically we don't really see it happen, but there's some sort of transaction where they get those EOPs. And by the way, oh my God, Jerry, we haven't talked about this. Freaking EOPs came back.
I know. I was looking.
What?
I was looking for our EOP Vision.
I'll find it. Give me a second.
I don't think it's in there anymore, but
no,
yeah,
I'll find it.
EOP Vision somehow. EOP Vision returns.
Yeah.
So we had.
Oh my God.
And little did we know, we're gonna have EOPs with horns.
Yes.
Thing. So much like cows. You know, just kind of like a different subspecies or something of these things. But yeah, no, and none of them passed gas or anything.
Okay,
like
so you say that, but Joseph Scrimshaw on Force Center, which another show we love. We've been on Force Center recently. We love them. Joseph, Ken, and Jennifer. There is a scene where they show the EOPs and they mention them being stinky creatures. And apparently, from what Joseph said, he said he watched it with headphones on, and you can hear a fart. So I'm trying to find that exact moment.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask. That's really funny because that's almost like you're like just like listening to like just a conversation you had with friends that you recorded like for a podcast. You're like, oh, I hear a fart. There's a fart in this recording.
I'm gonna find it. I'm listening to it right now.
Are you trying to find it right now? Okay,
yeah,
we're real-time fart searching. Right
y'all
here.
can keep talking. I just don't want to get flagged in case we play it on.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, I loved just kind of the
dude. There is a fart. Jerry, there is
there
a fart.
for real?
Holy crap!
Never mind. Forget whatever the fuck I was gonna say.
Holy, just listen, everyone, listen. I can't play this long as we'll get flagged. Are you ready for this? Listen as close as you can. I wish I could amp this up as loud as I could. Are you ready? Actually, I can. Let me go in the software real quick.
Okay.
This is so exciting. Hold on. I know there's a way to edit the volume. Maybe not. Maybe not.
This is
Okay,
taking
regardless.
precedence. Let's go.
Here we go. You can literally, everyone in the chat, be silent. Are you ready? You will hear it. Here it goes. She says they stink or something, and this is it. You ready?
It's so different from mine. Why are you in a war?
Last week, the
Here we go.
Hathor stole a herd of our EOPs. The beasts may stink.
Did you hear it?
On them.
Like the rat.
I
heard a couple of things that could be
fart.
EOP flatulence. Absolutely.
No, but it's so clear. It goes. Listen. I'm serious. Listen. Chat, you got to listen. You ready?
Today we were ready to take them back and burn their granary. The old ones say each generation grows weaker. It's when my cousin dies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, that went too far forward.
You went a little far. Yeah.
Sorry. By the way, I love their accents, but I needed I needed the subtitles for this
Me
one. I'm not gonna lie.
too.
I was like, she's talking so sweet and like it's really beautiful. Like everyone's accents were great, but I didn't know who the hell each group was. What was it? What were their names? The different waging groups.
Trioke,
The trio.
Trioke.
I think. Oh my gosh.
It is. You're right. You got it. The
Hattans.
Hattans. Yeah.
Hattans or
I had to have subtitles on. I'm like,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Here it is. You ready?
Last week, the Hattans stole a herd of our eel beasts. The beasts may stink.
You heard it? It was like
that was that. Yeah.
That was,
it was almost the exact one from Phantom Menace. Actually.
Good. They're doing their research. Who would have thought? That's a real Easter egg. That's a real Easter egg we're excited about. How amazing. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Crystal, you were here for it first. How exciting is that?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I got it right here, Jerry. I got the
EOP that's some real Assen, if I ever heard it right there. So for sure. Okay. All right.
Did you like the EOPs,
jokes,
Crystal? Was that exciting for you too?
I'm very excited right now. That's the best part of my day.
She's being honest, folks. She's letting us know.
Oh no, we gotta get David Collins on and ask if he used an archive fart.
dude, I will find some way to get in touch with that man.
What if that fart from the Phantom Menace becomes the Wilhelm scream of farts?
The Star Wars farts.
Yeah, the Star Wars fart. The
Rod of the Hutt shows up and Mandalorian and Grogu and it's just a big old fart. Look, here it is. We called it, y'all. We called it in 20.
Yeah, there we are. There's the Obi Vision.
The Obi Vision. The Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The future of Star Wars. Absolutely
amazing.
We might not have found the fuzzball, but we found the fart.
That's right.
Fart, definitely.
Fuzzball
That's right.
Was Fuzzball. Look, Crystal. Fuzzball was like a fart. It was there and it was gone. But the Eopies, this was a turd.
They linger. Those Eopies linger. Yeah,
that one lingered. That's so beautiful. Well, so well said, Crystal.
For the farts we found along the way.
Exactly. That's right.
Yes. Oh my God. No, this was such a cool little moment where like even the Phantom Menace is like so casually referenced now. This happened like 5 years ago. Jerry and I wouldn't wake up. we
would just like die in our sleep. Yeah, it's like right there. Yeah, just keel over on the couch.
In a Star Wars show. How can we live? No, I do love one thing though with this episode. It's a very self-contained episode, even though they're not off the planet. I will say they're not off the planet. Every episode before this has felt like from here we lead to here, from here we lead to here. And of course, this episode was kind of a sudden ending, but it felt complete. Like Neil had a full arc. Neil had a full arc, which was nice. Going from the kid who's really good at slap ball, by the way.
Right.
That was the cutest, most awkward interaction of the whole thing. We have slap ball, you know. I'm the best player.
Like,
I love him so much.
His little 6-year-old brother beating him up. You know,
right.
I've only got
jumping on his head.
Why would you tell her that? You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Also, I thought it was funny that like Neil wasn't into like shooting the guns with the other kids, so Hannah just takes him to see a bigger gun.
That was
this.
She's like, "Oh, I need to show you something." You know, she has like a little crush. She's trying to show off for him.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just too like the idea of like they're in a school, they're in a familiar place, and like all these terrible things are happening around them, and then they're like take them to that top. You're like, this is our canon. You can do it if you want. And it's like pointing at the building his mom works at on Manhattan. You're like, man, it's just but it's so real, right? I know this is kind of heavy, but like war-torn Ukraine from like the past 2 years. Like, remember when that war like broke into it? I was watching videos on Twitter and everything, and it was like so jarring because I'm like, man, this is a place that, you know, obviously went through a Cold War and, you know, was in Soviet control at one point, but then now has like been liberated, and then all of a sudden it gets taken right back over, and like now these are people's playgrounds, these are people's you know, favorite restaurants, and these are people's houses, churches, all those things, and now it's tanks are rummaging through them, and I don't know, it's it's a heavy topic to cover in a show like this, but it's done so well, right?
Right.
Like, and whenever I'm done with school, I'm gonna go meet the supervisor and I'm gonna see if I work there. And like, that's not a reality at all for these kids. In no way. Like that, they're worried about how do I get food on the table. They've got kids starving, sitting there, not maybe gonna eat whatever food they got. It's just, it's such a crazy thing that I never thought they'd be able to do in a show. So, just so quickly. There was no build up to this. It was just like, this is this planet. And it's a heavy topic. And how do we tackle it through the eyes of kids? And I'm kind of happy Wim took a backseat in this episode. Not to say he always needs to be the center of attention, but the first 2 episodes were all about him. All of them. KB had a little bit more in this 3rd episode, but Neil's our champ, man. Neil's in the back, like, he's the voice. He's our voice for the most part. But, oh, by the way, I didn't tell anyone. I told Crystal this in a message. I have not told Jerry this. We might have a special guest show up in a second. Very excited to confess their love of this episode as well. I just got a message from him. He said he's jumping in now. So
take a guess. Wait, guess first.
Oh, let's do our guesses. Who's our special guest? Super unexpected. He might have been listening, so he might already come in throwing punches. So who is our special guest? Let's see. Jerry just says no. Jerry, who do you think it is?
I'm gonna say David W. Collins. He's gonna come in here and talk to us about the fart.
Surprise!
It's Kyle XY. We're gonna find
I know he's gonna show us how he don't have a belly button. It's gonna be great.
Right. This whole episode actually was a setup for David Collins to come in the show.
Right. Oh, okay. I see.
Jared.
It's just someone who, this is a special guest. This is a special guest who is popping in here for sure.
Yeah, let's bring him in with a favorite.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Filoni.
Well, so I personally hate all your favorite characters, and you can argue about it on Blue Sky while I make a bunch of money and hang out with my cool wife. Guys, first of all, fuck Star Wars. Let's talk about the Superman trailer. I'm kidding.
I'm with you. I'm
kidding. Crystal, thank you for letting me bomb in on your show. I didn't plan it that way.
Oh my god, this is the first time that we've talked also. This is very exciting for me.
We never met in person?
Mm-mm.
We didn't meet at Pink Milk in 2022?
Okay, so we were there at the same time.
We didn't talk.
But I think we were just like...
Okay. Well, we all were passing in the night there.
Yeah.
But never... That's happened with a few people. That was a
remember I was on stage with these 2 gentlemen dancing to Dancing Queen at 1 in the night.
I left really early, so...
Yeah.
Because I don't drink. Me and my partner don't drink. So we're like, let's go. But then we're in a bar. We're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
sure. That makes sense. I mean, look, with the sloppiness on display, even just in these comments, it's like, like in person, it's like it gets so much worse.
So much worse.
Or better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
It's just enhanced. Yeah, right. Yeah,
enhanced.
So like in one of our group chats, our main one, I had said, I'm done. I'm almost positive that I'm pretty much completely done with doing the weekly breakdown stuff because I don't have the bandwidth anymore. But I was like, but this episode it compelled me to want to do it. And then Scotty was like, you can call, like if you feel like it. And so here I am.
Wait, so you came in just as we were talking about like how this show has tackled the difficult themes of like, what we saw this episode where it's one of those ones where none of us expected an episode like this at all, in the sense of it being very heavy in terms of delivery and story and character development, just crammed into one episode. So I know after you watch this, I mean, for those that don't know, if you've seen Alden's threads on Blue Sky or X or any of those places, like they're Bluesky, they're all very thorough and all well thought. But you should see his text messages. They are just as intense in that way.
Show us.
Honest to God.
And often
show the receipt
right now.
The receipts.
What shows up on social media is the not impersonal, but filtered. It's filtered as just about being about the work, right?
Yeah.
But in text, it'll be like, And that's why all these motherfuckers that love to talk about how they don't have any new characters. Well, how about these new characters, you stupid bitch? Like, it gets very loud.
Yes.
But also never sacrificing my perfect, impeccable grammar. Which I will rant and curse people out and still have like semicolons and like dashes.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I agree. I don't think anybody expected it to be
No.
so loaded the way that it was.
So in terms of what you wanted to bring to the table in that discussion, I know you have any time with Ken tomorrow, and right, y'all are going live tomorrow. Okay,
We're off tomorrow because I'm going out of town for the holiday. Before I sat down here, I called into his show to hijack it and talk about Superman.
You got that out. You got that out.
I'm just gonna hijack everyone's stream.
Just
I'm gonna all in this stream hopping. Yeah,
that's true. I'm a homie hopper.
Yeah.
I might even hop into some enemy streams tonight. Who knows?
Period. As you should.
Who knows?
Bring us.
Hello, Taylor.
Hi. Enemy streams. Like maybe there's some streams out there that like really want some Twitter.
Nerd
clicks.
Academy.
You see him
Nerd
looking. He's
Academy.
literally looking right now. Like he's legitimately scrolling. Looking. He's not joking, y'all. This is not a bit.
But really, like the thing that like got me, that I'm sure you've touched on already, and that we talked about a little bit in text, is the kid stuff and how we have been given these Amblin heroes, these not even every man, every kid heroes that are these different archetypes, like Neil in this one definitely being the kid who, as it was set up in the first one, he can't talk to the girl yet. And it's like, now I feel like I don't like to be this is what I think is going to happen. Like, because that annoys me when people do it in like trailers. Like, I bet he's the killer. It's like, all right, relax. Like, we got it. Like, amateur screenwriters of America, we don't need everybody's take on who's doing what. But I feel like it's when they get home at the end of this, assuming they do, he's gonna talk to her, right? Like, it's like,
yes,
Coming home a man.
Got the
right.
The French Revolution girlfriend that I had for So, but thinking about them in the context of like what Star Wars does now, there's two things that I'm obsessed with in modern Star Wars. One, I talk about a lot, which is Star Wars traditionally is about young people. You know, Luke and Leia are 19, Anakin in Attack of the Clones is 19, Padme is 14, and then she's 24. Like, Rey is 19. It's just always these young people. But then the shows are about middle-aged people not starting, but starting over. So Din Djarin, Cassian Andor, Ahsoka, like we're catching everybody in their 40s in these. Boba Fett, Fennec Shan. This one is different though. And this one ties in with the other thing that Star Wars has done a lot recently, which is which kids get to be kids. And that was a huge thing in Bad Batch with the Gunji episode, Tribe, where, you know, there's that beautiful moment at the end where Gunji prays on the tree and Omega joins him and the Batch is talking to the Wookiee elders. And Hunter says, like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, not in this galaxy. Like, the kids don't get to just be kids with the way things are. And so we have these kids that have had that. And then to put them in the reality of like, oh, sweethearts, you're in Star Wars. Like, you have been roped into Star Wars now, but like, this is what it looks like. Like, Neil realizing like, oh, there are kids who are hungry, you know, because Neil he's one of 4 and on a 2-parent income. And it's just like, you know, obviously Atton's doing better than we are. They don't have to assassinate any of their healthcare.
See the size of his jacuzzi tub in that first episode? God
for him, just him. Just him. And honestly, it might not even be a 2-parent. It might not even be a 2-parent income, because we see his mom, while presumably his dad is like, you know, insider trading or something. I don't know. Like, they all have like math related jobs.
Related jobs.
And he's here.
He's a stay-at-home dad. Yeah,
and he realizes like, oh, I have to share my food, not because I normally would as an older brother, but because they literally don't have, and how it freaks everybody out. And Crystal, I heard a little bit of your Fern point about like the character, the Han Solo-esque character, just like falling apart, and where she has that moment of I don't know what I'm doing, and then Wim realizing that he's not main character material, at least not in the way he thought he was. Like you were the best captain. I shouldn't even have wanted that. Like KB already had that because she's a little bit more mature than them. She had it in episode 3, but now the kids are realizing like, oh, we are being tested not just as kids trying to get home, but as young protagonists, and not everybody will be able to have what we have. And so it's like Scotty, you touched on it when we texted about it. Like home has problems and there's a mystery and it's clearly not on the up and up, but it's still home. In the same way that like you don't love the politics of Louisiana, of course. It's like
no,
I don't fucking
not
love
for
the
me.
politics here. It's just like
no,
but it's home, and if you could never go back there, or if you went to a place that was alternate Louisiana and everyone was starving, it would be so disturbing.
Well, of course, because it's everything you knew is not what you thought it was, and it's just a planet over, or it's just a city over, and that happens. I mean, I could tell you, like when I end up going to New Orleans, like you mostly stick to the nicer sides of town, but then you go to a place like the Ninth Ward, and it's projects, it's people that can't afford to live and have a ride, and
that have never recovered from 20 years
Katrina.
ago.
Yeah, it's just something you see, and you can see in your own backyard if you look hard enough. I mean, like homelessness is a real thing in the United States, and I mean, whenever I went to LA for the first time, it was the most surprising part of it because you have this glamorous view in your head, like, oh, LA, like wow, like this is a place that, like when I went for Anaheim, I'd never been before, and like this is everything I always thought it was in books. And then you go down Hollywood Boulevard and you're like, oh man, these people, there's people that are really struggling out there, and it's sad, and you want to help them. And the
and
society,
they exist in a weird like, it's like you get these pocket realities on the same street corner.
Yes.
It's like you will see like the most put together, like beautiful human beings you've ever seen in your entire life. And then you see people that like you can see in their eyes that there was a dream that has been dashed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we really are in two different, not just Americas, but like truly realities. And for these to be the jewels of the old republic, these at worlds, whatever the context is of those, we'll find out, I'm sure. And only one of them has thrived. It's like, knowing that Kim said they were destroyed, it's like, okay, maybe not, they weren't Alderaan, like,
see, that's what I was thinking.
I thought so too, but it's like maybe they've all, in the same way that, like, I don't know if anybody here or in the comments watched Firefly or anything like that, but in Firefly, the push out into space and the colonial effort of going to space is described as like having worlds that succeeded and worlds that failed. Like they didn't, the crops didn't grow or the terraforming didn't work. Like there's a success rate, and it almost makes me wonder, like, okay, if this one fell to war, like, did the other one have a climate crisis? Did one of them have like famine? Like, and only and worked, and then maybe that's why at some point they were like, look at all these failures. We gotta be isolationists, and it might be like entirely fear motivated, which could be interesting.
God, I like that you bring that point into it. Crystal, for you, I know when it comes to a show like this, I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this. I haven't asked you this yet. Was Andor part of the things that you had trepidations with, or did you like Andor?
Oh, I really liked Andor.
Okay, so did you notice some, like, I guess, thematic similarities between those two? Like, were there anything that you enjoyed that kind of, because I feel like this show unexpectedly for me has crossed into that Andor, like, here's some heavy themes. Like, did you get any of that from this one?
I didn't. I was too focused on Neil and Fern.
Look, that's
I was
valid.
too focused on like the character development of those two characters and Jod and like that thing. Like everything else, I was like, oh, cool.
You know, that brings up a really interesting point, though, because I hadn't considered that. Like, this show, where Andor, I was excited to see where the story went. I wasn't really necessarily as intrigued by the characters of that show.
Right.
This show, however, has done that very well.
I mean, when I think about Fern existing in this planet, I think at first it really gives her the opportunity to kind of like express this like want to be an adult. You know, she wants to grow up too fast. And so I think at first she really kind of like, let me play with the guns. Let me go do all these things that the adults are doing. Like, oh, you guys are treating the kids like adults. She's like, this is where I need to be, you know? But I think as the episode goes on, she does kind of realize like, oh, I don't need to be a grown up. Like this is a whole nother level. So I guess maybe I did see like these themes that you're talking about, but I saw them in relation to the characters.
That's beautiful, because for me it was like I felt like I was slapped by like this is a heavy dose of reality that, you know, the kids I even teach don't understand, and they never will, because they're just not from a society that you see that in. But yeah, the characterization of every person has been so poignant, and you know, they're not two-dimensional, because like some of the 80s movies, I mean, you know, Elliot needs, he was a product of divorce, and like he's the one that's kind of caught between the maturity levels of his siblings, and it's just difficult, you know, for him to lead, and then he finds the, you know, special alien that brings him a purpose, and he wants to fight for that special alien. Whereas this show has been really interesting because the characters are very well established by the first episode. Every introduction of each character is super well established, just instantly. It's probably the best. It's probably the best since Rey, in the sense of like you knew what Rey was about the very moment you see her on screen, right? So,
yeah, no, I think you're right about that. Like in terms of just like the full picture that we get of them, because they are archetypes, but there's also the layer underneath them, which like Fern emphasizes. But even with like SM33 not being one of our kids, he presents something that has been different. Like I think that I've said this point on multiple shows. If I'm repeating myself, tough. But it's like the one of the strongest points in modern Star Wars, from Rebels being the first thing they made, and books and publishing, obviously, all the way to now, has been that they have been on the hottest streak ever of droids. They have never missed on a droid. Every droid has been beloved and has offered something different. But with that being said, they have mostly fallen into cute / charming and or comedic, right? And even, you know, the ones that talk, the ones that don't. K2 and L3 are definitely grown-ups, but they are funny and you trust them.
Yes.
This is the first droid where I'm like, he's unsettling. I feel bad for him because he obviously didn't choose to be this way, and he's been through hell and he's old as dirt, but he could be a threat. And this was the first time where they really amped that up and made a droid feel scary in a way that a droid maybe never has, because as George will tell you, the Jedi cut through those like butter. So it's like they're not actually supposed to be a threat.
George in the room.
George is here. Melody, can you give George the link?
And he'll say it again.
And
he don't need it. He don't need it.
Melody, I'm not calling in tonight. I'm trying to rewatch.
I just got my tea.
I'm watching Creature Commandos.
I made him sound like Lorne there for a second.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing about SM33.
Some wine.
Yeah. So I really like the Skeleton Crew. Yeah. Anyway, Lorne Michaels. No, but he is a threat, and I think that the moment of like
Lorne Michaels is a threat. Sorry,
having to fight him. A threat to a lot of people that think you should retire, evidently. But he like
didn't mean it, Lorne.
Turns on these kids, not of his own volition, but it forces Neil to step up, and you have that moment of Jod realizing that Neil has stepped up and that it can give him the opening to turn him off. And then, you know, the amazing comedy beat of Neil passing out in the episode ends is like Pete Daniels. That's like
the funniest thing.
It's so
in the
cute.
entire show. So far.
Funny, and it's like
so lovable.
Why, like the way that reveals like that Neil connected back to the earlier point. Everybody has these two layers. Neil's first layer is like nerd from those Amblin movies, but his second layer is Samwise.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Yes.
When push comes to shove, like
so.
he stepped up in the same way that Sam does against Shelob. Like that's why I think like he will. Not that Filoni is like actively creative on this one. He's just executive producing, which is mostly just like, yeah, cool, yeah, do this, yeah, do that. At least in this capacity. It's like I could see Dave being like, well, you remember the end of Return of the King? Like he finally got the courage to ask Rosie out after he had stepped up. Like I think Neil might like, I don't think he's gonna have to carry anyone up a lava mountain. That would be cool as hell.
I
but
mean,
like,
dude,
the spire.
This show could do it.
Spire, like we're gonna get to the top of that supervisor tower, right? Like,
100%.
Like, something's gonna happen, and I think that Neil might be the most like they're all gonna change, but like I see Fern softening. I see Wim and his dad having more of a dialogue, and Wim's is a journey of grief because we know he recently lost his mom, and I think he's replaced maternal love with like a love of stories, and you have to like synthesize the two. KB's is interesting because there's the lingering thing about her health, and so I'm curious like how that comes back. That she might be a cyborg like by necessity, which I think is interesting. But yeah, Niels is like forged in fire. Like he's gonna show up, get the girl, and like wreck people in slapball. Like it's gonna be amazing. He's gonna be king. He's gonna be prom king.
The Chad Neil.
He gets like little tusks in season 2.
Yeah,
like,
he's like fucking jacked or something, you know.
It's like when you get that peach fuzz mustache.
Yes.
Oh god, it's just like sticking out of both sides.
Look, it's to me, it's really cool too that we got some more confirmation on SM33's like backstory where he knows he's been there. That clicked for him. He knows he got rid of the coordinates, but like he said that his other captain would kill anyone else that saw the coordinates. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't know how much y'all know about all the old like pirate EU, but I know there's that Han Solo book, like one of the first EU books besides Splinter of the Mind's Eye, where it's about a pirate's like I guess bounty, or pirates like, you know, booty, whatever you call it, like the haul. And I mean, I just want to know more about SM33, and I think by the next episode that's going to be like the big, you know, mystery of it. Like, how does he know? How has he been here before? He obviously had to get that at, and he was there in the first place. So it's kind of cool that they added another mystery element to this show that I don't think any of us was expecting. With, you know, obviously you've got, and by the way, no hint of the families back on At-Atten in this episode, which I think is really important. I think we're due for that. Definitely the next or the following episode. Like we got to tie that shit back in some capacity. I don't know about y'all. Jerry, what are you thinking is going on SM33's mind? What we got?
Well, he's got a rat kind of ratatouilleing its way through there.
That's right.
So there is that. But I don't know. Like I love the whole conceit that it is this whole, like, you know, he's been basically commanded to keep this secret or else and kill anyone who tries to get at it. And so it just really, I don't know. It's because like I'm really starting to wonder. I'm intrigued as to where we're going with, you know, again, these jewel worlds of the Old Republic, like we've been talking about, where you think it's like, but yet are they all like we were talking about, that weird, like, you know, Earth-like planet with a suburb on it? And if so, like, what's treasure and what's so different about At-Atten than the others? And it's just I don't know.
Reaganomics.
Reaganomics, yeah. The trickle down
it's a
actually
planet where Reaganomics works.
Planet. It's that one planet where Reaganomics. No. I don't know, man. With SM33, you were talking about it earlier, Alden. Like, it's just like how like he's been such a. I was not like worried about him until this episode.
Yeah,
because it seemed like he was more like the kid's bouncer. For a little bit there, and like he was the one who was going to make sure
the baby
that, like,
protocol.
Baby, gear baby, yeah.
He's the old drunk guy, the old drunk grandpa.
Exactly.
Kind of,
well,
yeah. That's a good,
yeah, the old drunk. That's a great way to put it. But you know, I mean, just I don't know. Like I wonder how much this is going to sound so inane and so just like I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I wonder how much the rat actually has to do with any of this.
I was going to say the rat is me. Like,
oh, maybe that.
Because when he goes in there, you know, like whenever Jod is asking him and stuff about At-Atten, he doesn't really like kind of. That rat like jostles something in his brain or something.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's like hitting switches or something or any. I don't know. Anyway,
I would love it if it was like a. Oh, sorry, Crystal, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I've been having like this Wizard of Oz theory about like
exactly
who like who the supervisor is, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe our Wizard of Oz is the rat.
The Wizard of Oz trope. I was right there with you, Crystal. I think it's like I will get us a meeting with the supervisor. That's the last thing we saw from
Right.
Carrie Condon in the show. Farah is her name, I think. Farah.
Farah.
And it's like, okay, cool. You're gonna do that. First of all, I would just like to go on the record as saying one of the great traditions of the Disney Plus shows is to cast someone from back in the day, and like Michael Biehn or like Amy Sedaris or Carl Weathers, of course. This is an ambulance show. I think the supervisor is going to be Henry Thomas.
Holy cow!
Because he's like in the Mike Flanagan Netflix shows and everything.
Oh,
it's going to be Henry Thomas or like Ke Kwan. Or like it should be someone from an Amblin movie. Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin was a Goonie. Like, could you imagine if the supervisor was fucking Thanos because he was a Goonie? Like, just
Henry Thomas
like
would
that.
be insane because that would be the most like I don't know, having Elliot himself be the supervisor, or
that would be
been a villain. Like, yeah.
My favorite would be oh wow, I'm blanking. Who played Paul?
Corey Feldman?
No, that would be a nightmare. That would actually be a nightmare. Dude, that would be so bad. Oh my god!
Come on, man.
The kids have to like restrain Corey Feldman. We have to hit him with a stun blast.
Picture like a Kyle MacLachlan, like one of those types, like someone that's like universally loved.
They kind of. I don't want to spoil Fallout for you, Scotty, but like Kyle MacLachlan having a mysterious backstory is like the whole crux of Fallout. Like,
okay, I haven't watched it yet. Okay,
it's
you got to get.
See, that's the thing.
Sean Patrick Flannery, yeah, I could see that, like for sure. But on that note, I do think, like it's like that whole like not all that glitters is gold stuff tied in with the Wizard of Oz, like the fact that we don't see it, but everybody trusts it. Is so
or the
odd.
statue thing was really interesting where it just head, right? And like no one brought it up again, which I really wish had been like, what's that about? But they didn't bring it up. It just wasn't
King
a thing.
No-Head.
King No
And
Head.
the blind faith is so Oz, like because in Wizard of Oz, at least in most adaptations of it, the citizens of Oz are like, oh, we love the wizard, but then like they never offer up any personal experiences or evidence as to why they love him. They just love him because they assume that society gets on because of him. But it doesn't. Society gets on because of them. In the same way that all these parents are doing all the analytics and coordination and like all the math and economics of this world, but they credit it all to this supervisor. And it's like the supervisor's probably up there like eating Cyril Karn cereal, doing jack shit. He's probably just letting you all stimulate the economy while he sits around.
Right. I think the supervisor is the pirate captain.
Oh my god! The whole time he found this treasure, and and maybe that's the whole point.
That would be
Maybe
interesting.
I think that he like went to all these other planets, and he saw like they're in shambles, and then he went to Ad and was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! We need to like protect it." And he like is hiding out. Maybe like
abandoned piracy and like went corporate, or like at least con people.
He took power. Like
okay,
that's fascinating. I would love something like that. I think that's really cool, and it would play into like. The pirate tropes have been so strong. Like, I know in like Pirates of the Caribbean 4, they bring up the fact that like pirates, and they use like the history of like pirates becoming privateers for the crown. Like they betrayed other pirates and like would sign up and get, amnesty deals and things like that. That could be really cool. And just real quick, I'm gonna bounce in a second because I don't want to take up all a Crystal spotlight. But the thing that I love about pirate tropes too that this episode does, and the last one did as well. Now twice, Jod has had a huge adventure sequence or an action sequence off screen, and because in the third one he fights Banjar Pranic, Alfred Molina's character, presumably fights him, escapes Port Borgo, but we don't see any of it. We only see him docking. And in this one, he got captured. With Smee, he, under threat of death, he saw the Eopes. He must have gotten intel from somebody there that the kids were also captured. Like this whole thing happened. He struck this deal, and all we get is him telling the events, and that's so piratey. And it's like Jack Sparrow when we meet Jack Sparrow in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, there's this legend about like how did he survive being mutinied and exiled, and the only thing he says is sea turtles, mate. Like. And
so
then
good.
You get a little bit more from Mr. Gibbs, who's like, they say that he took the hair from his back and used it to tie his feet around the turtles and, you know, surfed them into the water. Like this whole, like the story gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like, you imagine like, yeah, John's dad could be telling the truth, but also what if John like begged? What if he cried? Like, what if he like is not this guy like at all?
The line when he gets out there, just like, just shoot me. Like it was so great. And I love, but back to SF-33 when they're coming down and he's warriors and he can't see them yet, but SF-33 definitely can. He's like, warriors. He's like, no, the treasure. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so great.
Yeah,
so great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's most of the stuff I wanted to say. I want to talk about the kids. Shout out to everybody that likes to insist that silly Star Wars doesn't do smart things. You're wrong. You've been wrong. You consistently get proven wrong. When Andor season 2 comes around and we have to go through this whole "this is what Star Wars really should be" rigmarole, I'm gonna bully you with Neil and his girlfriend and her dad from Amelie, as Ken Knapsack pointed out. Her dad is the guy from Amelie, just to drive home how French it is. Yeah, this shit rocks. Eric Elliott in the comments with a shout out to G-Eazy. I can't really explain why, but I'm here for it. Anyway, Crystal, you're a gem. Thank you for classing up this joint. It desperately needed it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I'm so happy to talk. This is so fun.
Of course, and Alden, glad to have you here, bud. We'll see you soon. I'm sure we'll text with
Alden. Fuck you. I'll see you later.
Oh,
actually, Alden, stay on for one more second. One more second. Hold on. I just want to play one clip for Alden.
It's actually very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me one.
I'm sure whatever's about to be played is of the utmost importance.
It is.
I don't know if you caught when we like pinpointed that EOP fart live on screen a little bit ago.
You need to go back. We pinpointed
an EOP fart in this episode of one of the new AOPs.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is what.
Was it the same sound as
Johnny's
the Phantom
life
Menace
work.
fart?
Yeah.
But was it the same? Was it the same sound as the Phantom Menace fart?
It sounds like it's very far away.
We can't confirm nor deny.
Can we talk to Matt Wood? Yeah, Matt Wood, Dave Collins. Like,
all right, this is.
I was saying it's gonna be the Wilhelm scream of farts.
Of flatulence. Yeah, I agree.
Flatulence.
All right, here we go. You all ready? Let's watch Alden.
Oh, fuck yeah. You're going to really put a trailer reaction in the middle of this?
I just want to see
I will.
this moment.
First of all, this font. Fucking wrong. Look at this guy. Oh, my God.
Take
this cut right here to the slow-mo. Oh!
Okay, stop. You have to stop because this part actually makes me cry. When that came on, I cried. Man. I cried when he like shields the little girl from the stuff. Oh, my God.
Out of here.
Stop it.
Fuck out of here. Look, man, he throws one punch in the whole teaser trailer, and it's just to escape. He never hits anything in this teaser. He's
gonna go off.
He's just saving people. He's just saving people. He's not snapping anyone's fucking neck and being sad. It's just like, man.
I don't know, but can you identify with that though? With the perfect. Anyway, sorry.
Can I identify with what? The being sad all the time? Yes.
No. Yeah, no. I was saying like, yeah, no. So Superman's so like no one can identify with Superman because you're not supposed to. Anyway, all right. Anyway.
In 1930,
he's supposed to be an ideal that you strive towards. Anyway, all right.
Alden, thank you. I just want to see your emotion. See in the group chat. We'll add Crystal later.
Love y'all.
Can
we kick Jared out and add Crystal?
Yes, that's what we'll do.
Can
you waffle, baby.
Hey,
bye, Alden.
Bye.
No,
later, Alden.
I love having him show up. He was very excited to talk about his thoughts on that episode. So thank you, Crystal, for letting him take over just for just a moment.
A lot more well thought out than me, so we need that.
He's one of the few people that like
not just you.
The second something ends, like he's already got a whole book written. Like
right.
it's
wrote
beautiful.
Alden already has a thesis. Yeah,
right,
his brain thinks in thesis.
Right. He broke it down for us, you know?
Yes, beautifully done.
Yeah, he comes down off of his mountain and talks to us mere mortals sometimes.
Look, I gotta say this too. what I think is most intriguing about this episode as well, and Jerry and I, we always have our reactions and things we watch and stuff. And Crystal, how much do you watch the trailers? Is that like a big thing for you? Do you like watch them on repeat? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I do
Okay,
because
if
I
you
have to
don't
make
mind.
content. You know what I mean?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
But
Yeah.
if I wasn't
Oh, yeah.
making content, I probably wouldn't watch the trailers.
Yeah.
We just give everything away. But anyways, do your thing.
Well, I was going to say I wanted to go back and watch just a few more scenes from these trailers to see
yeah.
what's to come, right? Because
Right.
I think almost everything except this like one really cool like casino looking area is like the only thing left from the trailers that we haven't gotten, if I'm not mistaken.
There's a scene of Jod like telling the parents like, oh, there's pirates coming or something. And then there's also the
Yes.
scene at the very end, like with the Indiana Jones gold room.
Yes. Okay. So another cool
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
too that I forgot that you just brought up in my brain think is like the whole parents, they took a back seat, obviously, but the pirates took a back seat, which is
Oh,
really important
yeah.
because they left that place in shambles. I mean, they
Right.
destroyed Port Borgo,
Right.
and like they just rolled out, and the rebellion's also looking for him because of Kim. So like you've got
Oh.
3 major groups right now
Right.
that are like trying to find where the hell their people
Right.
went. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they put like a bounty on Jod also?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, maybe
he's
like a
got
bunch of people are about to show up.
So I don't have that much inside information, but I was told this show by someone I trust that this show gets a lot more intense towards the last 2 episodes. But and unexpectedly, they said unexpectedly intense. So I think it is going to be a lot of these storylines by the 7th episode. Like this shot. We have not seen this shot yet, right? That's the
Mhm.
one. It looks like they're on some sort of snowy planet.
Well,
Like-
because this is like a Mandoverse story. So
Mhm.
how are we going to get that crossover? And we see Payne.
True.
Right? Payne, is that
Yeah.
his name, the pirate? But like who
Vane,
else
right.
are we Vane?
Yes.
Who else are we going to see from like the Mandoverse? We haven't seen this shot.
Nope. This is new.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this one. It just I don't know. I this is kind of stuff that excites me. Oh yeah, that's the one you were talking about, Crystal.
Yeah.
The one where he's yelling at someone.
I think the
and-
parents probably.
That does look a little bit like that, maybe, yeah. A crew of murderous pirates are coming. Yeah.
Yeah, we need Hondo. Honestly, if Hondo
Oh.
doesn't show up in the show, like wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Also,
I know.
we haven't got this at all. We haven't got that at all, that
Mm.
whole interaction, which I've been waiting for. That's the one thing that them seeing Farah and Wendell talk. We haven't got that at all.
Oh my
Or
gosh,
this,
episode
or-
5, Mando returns.
Oh, it you just the whole episode. No, but like look at
Right.
him at his job and the
Oh,
security
yeah.
droids.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, look, and there's a citadel right behind him. We got that shot. I don't know. We haven't got this either. This is them when that big sea monster tries to get him or whatever that thing is. Yeah, this guy.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm
Lots of
talking
things.
about.
Yeah, this is.
Do y'all think that's another Atten? I think this could be another Atten.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's X-wings. So maybe
Possibly.
not. There's X-wings.
I was gonna say, I don't know. This feels very much. It feels like this is probably where the snow, where we meet the giant snow crab thing. That is
Yes.
because it's like it feels like what am I thinking? Well, it feels like Canto Bite, but on a snow.
Oh, Jerry, this is interesting. The pirates and the X-wings are here.
Mhm.
I hadn't made that connection yet. And that behind him, I think, is a pirate ship in the air. Yeah, that's.
I was gonna say, yeah, that looks similar to Captain Brutus's ship there. But so okay,
booby trap.
I don't know, man. Like, so they seem to catch up to it. I don't know. It feels very things are kind of like all coming together at that point.
Yeah, like this one with the trash compactor looking place.
So historically, with like these trailers, they've only showed us like the first 5 episodes, but this looks like has like from all the different episodes,
All the
right?
way
I think
through.
so. Must be. Look at that. Yeah, look, and there's
It gives me big Canto vibes. That one, yeah, absolutely.
them on the front of the ship. You could this is what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, this is so badass. Gosh, what could this be, man? Yeah, they got that trailer. We can watch the other one too. But Crystal, I mean, I'm glad to have you on here and talk about this stuff with us. This has been awesome.
This is so fun for sure.
Do you have any other theories that you're excited about? Anything that you wanted to speculate on?
No, just that I think maybe the pirate captain whose ship that they stole is on at Aden somewhere, and I think that they might be the supervisor. Either that or the supervisor. They're gonna like go into the tower, and then it's just gonna be like a skeleton, like he's been dead the whole time. You know,
something. Oh, that would be
Like,
interesting too. Just like
something.
we've still kept this running without anyone.
Yeah, the
Maybe
supervisor.
I think that the droids have something because the droids. Well, and I don't know. There might be someone just because I know they're like camera heads, so that makes you really think that someone's. But yeah, what if no one's watching and it's just the droids trying to keep
Maintain
up
order.
appearances or something?
I like the
Yeah,
Matrix.
yeah.
The Matrix with
Yeah.
the supervisor at the end. And well, you know what's funny
And
too?
it says supervisor is a droid is my theory.
Oh,
That's
period.
beautiful. So look for me too is like I'm that episode that one of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian, which is the one that people had the most crazy reaction to, was of course the episode with Lizzo and Jack Black. That one where it's like a whole society ran by droids, except for Christopher Lloyd, who is a Count Dooku sympathizer, which was wild. Like that whole
that whole, just like hearing him say Count Dooku was a visionary. It was just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. And like, I mean, look at this. Like this is something we haven't got yet. And,
I was gonna say
it's gonna be so awesome to see that. Like that's the reverse thrusters, which is what was brought up in that second episode. I don't know. We got Kim. Ah man. Yeah.
So
the big crab thing. Yeah, this show is.
Yeah, the Phil Tippett crab. I'm excited for the Phil Tippett. I think the Phil Tippett crab and that Casino Planet are the same episode. I feel like.
So this is the one thing I kind of think is a little spoilery. So if you're scared of spoilers, there has not been a lot of spoilers out on this show, but this is the one thing I wanted to bring up tonight because I was watching this earlier today.
Wow.
And this is like the breakdown of the creatures in the show and the robots and all those props. But there's one shot in here that actually piqued my interest a lot, and no one's really talked about it. And I don't think I think speculating can be fun, and I think it is important to speculate, but sometimes it does give away some twists and stuff. There's one shot in here
right there, by the way.
I think it was maybe this one or was the Daniels one. There's one where they show a shot of Fern and Wim, but it's surprising who they're with and where they are at now, given the context of what the supervisor's office or whatever you would call it looks like. I'll show you in a second if it comes up, but it might be in a different behind the scenes one. No, it might be in a different one. I think it might be the Daniels one. Let me see if I can find that real quick. God, this show's so good. But mostly everything from the trailers has been shown, right? I mean that is the benefit of this. We've only gotten a few things.
I was gonna say, it just feels like they are just pulling from all over, with it, which is not what they typically do.
Usually it's the first 5 episodes, and that's about it. Here it is. Okay, might be a little bit of a giveaway, but this is not Kim's place. This is certainly in the supervisor's office with what you can see the volume in the background.
Well, you see the pillars as well.
Yeah, right. So I think
it's got the planet things as well, the planets on the pillars.
That's crazy they would show this.
Yes, so this was the one thing I noticed today watching, and they're all looking at something, and like we don't know what they're looking at, obviously, but you can see. I don't know, like it's a really weird shot. I don't know. No one has talked about this yet, and I guess in terms of speculation, like this looks like season finale like shot. I don't know, like it's kind of weird. They're all looking up at something, nervous, and this. I think that Daniels only directed 1 episode, so I don't know why they decided to throw this in there. I guess because they needed a variety of footage. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting. Okay, we were talking about the supervisor being someone from an Amblin movie earlier. Here's one for you. What if it's Jeff Goldblum?
Oh my God!
I would love that.
That would be amazing.
That'd
but
be
like
perfect.
scary, like actually like
scary Jeff.
Like, ooh, the supervisor.
Well, do you remember how who's the guy?
I'm going to kill you.
Did either of y'all watch Loki? I know, Jerry. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
Jerry did.
I did
Who
not.
was? Okay. Well, who is the actor that was the one that honestly had charges pressed against him? That played Jonathan Majors.
Oh, Jonathan Majors.
Remember how
Yeah.
he played the what did they call that character at the end of Loki season 1? Not Father Time.
Oh, no.
Can't think
He
of
Who
it.
Remains.
He Who Remains. Like,
He Who
I would
Remains.
love if the supervisor was that kind of weird, right? You know, kind of like who, you know, I don't know, you know, like it could be really cool to
Kind
have
of like
crazy
eccentric
person.
but dangerous or something.
Yes,
Kind of a thing.
yes,
Okay.
man. No, I'm so happy that we are at this point because, and let me ask you this: I got to know the Crystal's thought. Okay, I don't know what your Christmas traditions look like. I don't know if you even celebrate Christmas, but this coming out Christmas Eve, do you like? Is that a good thing for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Okay.
it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like having a really quiet Christmas this year,
Nice.
so this is perfect for me actually.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Just like see us
Right.
sitting there with like a cup of hot chocolate or something.
Yeah,
like that.
chilling
Nice and
hard.
cozy.
Right, cozy. What about
Jerry,
you
what
guys?
about you? Do you have Eleanor, Jerry?
I pick up Ellie the next day. So for
Okay.
Christmas Day, I get Christmas Day and then 4 days after. So it's gonna be a good old time.
That's nice.
But for Christmas Eve, I'm just gonna I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna kick back, in my PJs. I'm gonna watch me some Skeleton Crew. So I'm
that's
ready.
beautiful.
For it.
That's all.
I'm ready for it.
Well, it's even funnier because the next week is New Year's Eve, so like it happens to have fallen on really interesting times. I don't know, like I got a DJ gig New Year's Eve, so I don't know when I'm gonna work this in, but my biggest fear is like we see the supervisor in the 6th episode, like, or some crazy
Right.
shit goes on. I'm steady mixing, Walk This Way by Run DMC. Like,
Right.
like things are leaking out on the internet.
You're like
But,
having a mix, and then you have like a little on your screen. Like,
Gotta read the
Okay, yeah.
subtitles.
you know how like guys will watch like the game, like on a
Yes.
little.
Oh
screen?
my god.
That's like you watching Star Wars.
It's like, oh my
I'll
God.
be right back in the bathroom.
Give me a
Like,
Yeah. Look, I'll be right back, guys. Here,
My wife is gonna take over.
here's Mr. Brightside one more time.
No, now this show has been really fitting for that season too, if I'm gonna be honest. The whole season feeling of, like Christmas time, everyone
yeah,
fresh start, new beginnings. I don't know. I just
yeah.
It's a
I
great
love the show.
holiday feel. Yeah, it's
It
got
is.
like just it's got the whimsy, but also it's just got a lot of adventure, which is fun.
Star Wars during Christmas just makes so much sense to me. Too,
Okay. Okay, I'm so glad you said this because as of right now, I don't know about you, but all my social media is like my Snapchat and my Facebook is like memories from 8 years ago, memories from 6 years ago, memories from 5 years ago, and it's all been like Mando season 2 finale. It was of course every movie release. It was Rogue One. It was
Right.
episodes 7 through 9. No
Yeah,
Solo. I
yeah.
mean, like it's been kind of nice to like kind of go back in those moments and see what fandom felt like then versus now, where we have shows premiering as the seasons go on. It's the first time it's ever happened. It's kind of beautiful. I don't know. Yeah. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Crystal, I'm so glad you got to come on and hang out with us. This is
Yeah,
fantastic.
thank you for
Me
hanging out
too.
with us tonight.
I love that you guys sent me like a draft of what we're going to talk about. We just went completely off the
We
rails
did.
like
That's
right
amazing.
away.
We
Immediately.
never,
Instantly.
we
It's always an
never
idea.
stick to the notes.
I love
It's always
that,
an
though.
idea.
It's
No, but
organic.
Crystal, we got to have you on where we're doing really goofy stuff. Would you want to come on
Yeah.
back for
Oh.
some really goofy stuff?
Come back for a good video. You gonna come
Absolutely.
talk about eggs or something?
Yeah.
sometime?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, or
Definitely.
we'll watch it. Scotty, if Scotty finally gets another VHS, so you got any like weird wonky VHSs?
Yes, here's one we can watch,
He's
Crystal.
pulling out his collection now.
Let's see.
Yeah. What if we
we
did
need
an
to, like-
episode where we all put on makeup together?
Okay, I'm fine with that. You have no idea.
I would do it.
love
I would.
That's
You'd
so
have to tell me
fun.
what to get because, like, I know you do like professionally, like, right? Like
do.
you're, yeah. So,
It'd
that's
be fun if we all tried to do like Jabba the Hutt on ourselves.
Let's do it.
I would love
I'm
it.
not kidding. That would be
Let's
okay.
It'd be
So
so fun.
This is usually how we do production meetings too, is live on the
Right.
show. So,
Chat,
So you
you're
ready?
very lucky.
Crystal, you can come and watch this with us. Here's a couple of them. This one's called Museum City Videos,
Ooh.
Italian travel video library, 3 complete videos in 1 tape, and we can watch it. And it looks like a very short tape. This one is let's see,
3
it's gonna be
video.
years-
This take 3 complete videos in one
Just
tape,
in
and it's
one
very
tape.
short.
Yeah, it's like
beautiful.
it's one of those light VHSs. Y'all remember how light they used to be really
Yeah.
heavy one. Like Titanic was
When you
heavy.
rewind it, it's just like 10 seconds of
Right.
rewinding.
Done.
Right.
Or this is my favorite. I remember
miss
watching
that
this
smell.
one in college. This is a
What's
good
that
one.
smell?
Lights, camera, Branson.
Oh,
so you look at Branson.
my
just-
God. We have to do that one after, like sometime after. I know we've got a couple of things booked right now, right after Skeleton Crew. Like we're going to be talking, we'll be bringing Reagan back on, talking some joysticks and stuff sometime pretty
This
soon.
one's a
Not
good
to
one.
give too much away.
I don't know, Crystal. How do you feel about Donkey Kong Country? You a fan of Donkey
Ooh,
Kong? Hey, look at this one. Return to the Jungle, November
fun.
21st.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Quite
So
the
I mean,
collection.
isn't it nice? It's so beautiful.
Very eclectic, so eclectic, wonderful. Yes.
Love it. I love a good movie night, to be honest.
That's it. Booked it.
Absolutely.
We've got you've got the gig. You made
Love
it.
it.
No, Crystal, do us a favor. Tell everyone where they could find you, please.
Right.
And what you provide.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, my face. I make videos on YouTube under Crystal Kyber. I do makeup and I talk about fandom, different fandom related things, but mostly Star Wars. You can also find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, etc. I also have a fandom forward clothing brand. We do have some Star Wars stuff right now. So if you want to check that out, it is getbadfeeling.com because I got a bad feeling about this.
That's amazing. I did not know it was called that.
I've seen a couple of your posts about that, and it is very, very cool. Like really,
Thank you.
really stuff. So yes,
Thank you. I know it's like weird because I want to like show people like because I'm so excited about it, but I hate being like buy this. I just want to show people like what I'm doing basically.
You show them that, then if you show them, they will come. Right? That's from Field of Dreams.
I love it. I also love your thumbnails. I don't know, like there's something to be said about the art of thumbnails, and I'll say this: you and Scotty Holiday have some of the best thumbnails in our space.
Thank you. We
Honest
talk
to
about
God.
our thumbnails all the time together.
No,
Actually,
y'all's
So you guys are
thumbnails
tight, right?
yeah.
Like
We
I
have
don't know,
many
it's-
conversations about it.
there's a huge art to it that you know, like ours. Whenever we do our thumbs, and like your photo is fantastic in this week's thumb. It's just perfect. But like we've always felt like we gotta channel like a, you know, this is a cover of a VHS. You know what I mean? Like it's been something we've always tried to do and replicate in some capacity, or give you the sense of a show that you find on a VHS. But like, you know, this is this Fuzzball logo and us pointing at you and Fuzzball, like it just works. And like your thumbs are very much who you are, and like I don't know, your videos are always high quality, so I don't know, it's just
Thank you.
It's awesome. It's good stuff. Like you got to make fun of theory. I love it. It's just perfect. It's perfect.
Gotta let people
As
know
we
where I
all
stand, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and again, so if you're not already following Crystal, go subscribe to all her stuff, check out all of the stuff she's got going on, or else. Okay, that's a bad promise. That's a bad promise.
Bad promise. No, but thank you so much, Crystal, for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. This has been a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we got it. We got to bring her in. You're about to be baptized. You ready? You're being baptized.
Okay.
Hold on.
The
Yeah, this is
baptismal video.
that's a great way to put it too. Like,
This is your wake-up call. Time to reach, go for it all. Vulture stirs inside of me, and I know what I can be. Limit is the sky. Hey world, watch me fly. The best part of waking up is vultures in your cup.
That's been my favorite Folgers commercial I've ever seen.
Paul Stanley,
really
baby.
great, yeah.
It's
I was
my
gonna
boy.
say, get that
Speaking
Paul
of makeup-
Stanley really
Wait,
throwing
Crystal,
those notes out.
I'm not fucking around. I just want to say, like, I'm not fucking around. If you made us do like kiss makeup tutorials, I'm so for real right now, because my wife's always done mine. But like, if I have to like do my own freehand Paul Stanley, I would love your advice. Jerry could be like the space ace, and I don't know, you could be like, I don't know, you could be the demon. Entirely up to you. That would be so peak for me.
We need a plan. We need a plan for this.
Holy cow,
definitely.
Jerry.
We will be working on this. We will be working on
We
that.
need to workshop it.
Oh, I'm so
Absolutely.
excited. No, but Crystal, sincerely, I'm glad you got baptized by Paul. So glad you came. This has been a great night. And next week, just to plug it, next week, we haven't made the thumb or anything yet. We're gonna have Kyle Katarn on. Kyle Katarn, known for his great videos and thoughts on all Star Wars stuff. He actually had the privilege to go and like meet Dave Filoni at that thing when Acolyte was coming out. And so we haven't had him on in about 2 years. So it's gonna be nice to have Kyle come back on. And we're gonna, I don't know. This is just a wonderful thing we've got going on right now. This show has been really reinvigorating, and it's allowed us to bring people onto the show that we haven't brought on in a very long time.
We always try to expand our reach and stuff because we'll have the same 3 motherfuckers on here sometimes if we're not careful. So
that's how it goes. That's what happens when you got your homies.
You find your people.
You got 4.
Yeah, that's
true.
it.
That's true.
We've got you forever.
Yeah.
You're in the group now. You're gonna be added to our group chats. Sorry. I feel like these guys are crazy. No, Crystal, do us a favor. It's your final moment on this show. Can I get a good stay bomb bad? Can we do that? Can we do that here?
And stay bomb bad.
Yes.
Woo!
Everyone, have a great week. Thank you again, Crystal. Bye.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it?
Pasquale? It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
And a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for